What's up guys, it's Pyro Cynical. This is actually a topic a lot of people have asked me about, so I figured it'd be a good idea to make a video about it so you guys can get my side of the story, or my stance on it. And then also this allows me to elaborate much more on it than I would be able to in like a Reddit comment section or a YouTube comment. So the first thing to go over is legality. The people making these replicas or fakes are actually stealing the designs from the brands that they're making the fakes of. It's not an original work or anything. It's just literally that design ripped off from the brand and sold by them, which, being sold by them, they're stealing from the brand the money that they possibly could have made. Although a lot of the items that are being replicated are no longer in production, like they're only one-time releases or something along that line. So you could argue that the replicas aren't really stealing from the brand since they're not going to re-release it, but the brands aren't re-releasing those items for a reason. So although this point could be argued that they're not actually stealing money from the brand, they're definitely going against the brand's wishes. And on top of that, it's obviously people who support the brand or at least like the brand or their designs or something like that are buying these replicas, which means they're putting their money towards the replicas rather than putting their money towards the actual brand. So they are losing possible money or customers in that sense. And we just touched on this a little bit with the re-releasing, but another big reason to not buy replicas is because of the exclusivity that makes these items so special. If these brands were re-releasing their greatest hits, there wouldn't be a need for the replicas. And it really just takes down the importance of the things like, box logos, kill hoodies, Yeezys, the Nike 10, all that stuff, Jordans. It makes them less special when more of them are in rotation and you can see, every kid in the high school wearing a box logo or, whatever. It just makes it a lot less special. So the last reason, which is probably the least important reason for me, I just decided to throw it up there because it definitely is a negative of buying replicas. If you are wearing a fake, there's always the possibility that you could or will get called out for wearing it as opposed to wearing the real thing, whether it be some fake Yeezys or an underground kill hoodie. There are people that can tell the difference. I've also seen a couple different stances on this. Some of them come from people who do support the brand but also buy replicas. And if you do support the brand and you're buying replicas, this relates back to the first reason that we stated, where you're taking away money and yourself, the customer, from the brand. So you're actually hurting the brand in that sense. So if you do support the brand, you shouldn't be buying these replicas. So the opposite of that is people who don't support the brand and buy replicas because of that, which is kind of a funny one because it can be argued that even though you don't support the brand, you buying the replica, which is, a replica of that, like a piece from that brand, you're wearing the logo and it's like free advertising for them. They lost the money from your possible purchase to them, but people seeing you wearing that is advertising for them. So like a lot of people recently or a little while ago were hating on Garrett for how he's been handling the brand, and they were saying that they wanted to buy replicas because of that, because they no longer really support the brand. But like I just said, buying a replica is free advertising for them. So you're actually putting on for the brand, increasing their popularity and people that know about the brand, and you're kind of like shooting yourself in the foot. It's kind of like a band-aid over a bullet wound. You're not really helping it at all, although it is like a quick fix for it. Moving on, there's just something special about buying a real piece that makes you appreciate a lot more. And that probably has to do with the authenticity of it. Finally winning a draw for a Nike off-white sneakers, which hasn't happened for me yet, or, getting past the card declined page and actually having your order processed for a box logo is just a crazy feeling, and it feeds into that, makes you appreciate that item that much more because you were able to do that. You were triumphant. And yeah, I know what I just said does not apply to buying items for resale, which leads us to the topic of buying these items for crazy high prices because it is the authentic item, it is the real item instead of a replica. understand why some people gravitate towards buying fakes because of what we just said, you know, the crazy high prices. A lot of people can't afford these. You know, a lot of people can't afford to buy resell on a box logo or a kill hoodie. These are like hundreds of dollars just for a sweatshirt. For me, I kind of see that as the only valid point. And if people are coming to me with that excuse of why they buy replicas, I definitely understand that. You know, it makes sense to me, especially if you really want that piece and that's the only way you can get it. It makes sense, but I still, you know, I still disagree with it, but I understand where you're coming from. So in conclusion, I do not support buying fakes, though I understand the motives behind it. And I just really think there are a lot of alternatives to these pieces, these replicas of just like crazy hyped items that are much cheaper and look just as good, if not better. That's about it though. How do you guys feel about this topic? Feel free to leave a comment. I'm interested to see what like the popular opinion is, because I know a lot of people here are from the revenge subreddit, and definitely the opinion there seems to be support of fakes. So I'm interested to see what you guys think. Get like some friendly discussions in the comment section if you guys want. But yeah, other than that, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video. You thought I was gonna leave you hanging? Babushka boys.